Hello, Ronlings. That sounded a bit Bruce Forsyth, didn't it? Hello, Ronlings. Good games, scoreboard. So much better than last week. You lovely audience. Hello, Ronlings. I'm finally out on a proper camp, which is marvellous because due to back issues, which I still have, I've been just van camp or not camping at all, or van camping it, and now I'm back on another camp, but I still can't carry weights with me, so I've come on, as you should have seen, you've come on my motorbike today. So I just packed it all on the motorbike. I had something very light in. I was wearing a backpack, but I had something very light in the backpack, so it didn't really make much difference. All the bike was taking all the guff, and I'll show you that later. So this one's an interesting camp because I came in on my motorbike. I've never camped anywhere using my motorbike before, so this is very different for me anyway. So the last time I've been here once before, and the last time I came here, I was actually getting a lift off my girlfriend to take me to a different campsite, and that area for various reasons was unusable, so it was like go home or quickly find somewhere else. And obviously my partner was like, well, you know, I'm looking forward to a night without you, so she was quite determined to find another place, and I don't recommend it, but we just sort of drove around for a bit. Gunshots. We drove around for a bit, looking for somewhere, and went, oh, that'll do, and I just dived in and just hoped it was a nice place to camp. And as it turned out, it's a really nice place. I'm a bit annoyed that I'm a bit nearer the road this time. I was much deeper in and the road was more difficult to hear. You could hear it, but it was less of a problem. So I'm a bit nearer the road, but I don't want to move now because I've spent ages parking my bike up and securing it so it doesn't fall over, and putting a cargo net, camouflage net over it, and I can't be bothered to move now. And the last time I was here, I noticed that this section that I dived into was flat. It has fences and ditches and various things to stop you coming off the road, but there's an area of like about, I don't know, 20 meters or something where it's just completely flat, and you can literally just drive off into the woods. I remember thinking, God, if it wasn't so dense, you could drive your car in it. I thought, oh, boop, light bulb, bring my bike in here. That thought just hung in the air for a bit. When I started to have a lot of back trouble, it became really relevant and really a good plan, because I could literally just load it all onto my bike, and I just drove in here, right, and park up right next to me camp spot, and camouflage netting over it until nightfall. Well, I'll leave it on there, but you know, it's not really needed after nightfall. And then Bob's your uncle, and all I did was, I did have a backpack on, but I put really light stuff in it that didn't make much difference. The actual bike took all the weight. I'll show you it later. Still quite chuffed with what I did. So anyway, let's start getting set up. I went with the Van Gogh Hydra this time. Lovely tent, loads of room in it. You can tell, say summer, it's not summer, spring, you know, tell the winter's gone. Bloody flies everywhere. It's one thing I love about winter is that there's no flies and insects and things bugging you. And now we're hitting this time of year where every time I'm talking I have to. And it's really warm. It's really warm today, unusually so for the time of year. I can't help thinking there's a storm on the way, which is annoying because I forgot to bring any waterproofs. I know. So I've got to forget something every time I camp. This time it's waterproofs. So far, I'm finished unpacking. But anyway, I went for the Van Gogh Hydra 200. This is a lovely tent. Loads of room in the vestibule. Look at that, it's a big old quite a lot of room inside. You can sit up. This bit here is tall enough for you to sit up if you're short like me, but you can't sit up the other end because it tapers down. It goes, you know, so you can only sit up. So like, you know, if it's a two-man tent, so for two people, not really, because you can't sit up in it. And you want to be able to do that. At least you don't have to, but it's nice to be able to do that. So yeah, I do like it. I took it out for no other reason than the fact that I haven't used it for ages. I keep using my 4-sack because I absolutely love that tent. You know, this tent is quite heavy and quite bulky. It's yes, it's a 2-man tent. If one person's carrying the tent and the other one's compensating with the other stuff, then it evens it up a bit. Yeah, but it is, if you're using it on your own, it is really it's quite a heavy tent really. But you know, the bike was doing all the carrying, and when I had a nice back and it wasn't giving me trouble, I was carrying it quite happily. It didn't feel particularly heavy, but you know, it's not for everyone. It's a lovely tent. It's got good and bads like most things are. I think, you know, the fact that it's 2-man, you know, 2-man is doable, but it's very cramped, and it's quite big for one person. But you can't really sit up in it. You can, but you've got to stick right at this end to sit up in it, and even then you're a bit like that. Anyone taller than me, I'm 5'8", anyone taller than me, which is most people, wouldn't be able to sit up in it, which is quite nice. Not essential, but quite nice. But I brought it out today as a 1-man. It's actually, yeah, it must be said, as a 1-man, it's actually really good, because it's there's loads of room for one person, but a huge vestibule which has the ability to roll this side back and the other side, which leaves this curious little strip in the middle when you roll both the sides back. But there is a lot of people don't know this, because I've seen a lot of people review it and scratch their heads at it, but there's a toggle in the middle at the top, underneath, I'm pointing at underneath, so you can roll that last piece up. So you can roll the 2 side doors up, this side and the other side, which leaves a strip in the middle, which you could leave, but if you want, you can roll that up as well, and then the whole front is open. So on really hot days you can have the whole lot open. You lose your vestibule in a sense, because that's where your vestibule is, so all your stuff is kind of exposed, but it's a feature I've never used. But there you go. I mean, that toggle inside that I use it to hang a light off of, because I don't roll the middle strip up. I shouldn't really see the point, but some people might like that. But yeah, I must admit, I bought it out for no other reason than the fact that I haven't used it for ages, because I do prefer my 4-sat, and I've realised I've been favouring that, and I thought, well, I'll just give it an out and give it some air. It's not a bad tent. This is my bike. There she is. It's only a little 125. Since I was, I'm kind of in the view of the motorway there. Since I was a teenager, I've been riding motorbikes, and I used to ride 125s, and as soon as I was legally allowed to ride anything bigger, I got my license and all that, I got rid of the 125 and I never had anything lower than 750. And then you have a wife, family, kids, a kid, and your mortgage, and so it takes a back seat really. And for about 10 years I haven't ridden a motorbike. As much as I love them, and I'd really like to have one again, but not being financially able to do that and keep a car and to take my daughter around and stuff. And but a few I'm going to get down here a bit more out of the way, because I'm kind of, but a while ago my partner's father became extremely ill, and we were going up there to visit all the time, and where he lived, parking was impossible, because he lived in a real country lane, with, the houses are really old, and so there's the name, because of that the lanes are really narrow, because it's built before cars and stuff like that, and parking was impossible around there. So we thought we'd buy this little motorbike, stick it in the back of my van, and then stick it in the back of my van, and when we get to the travel lodge, or wherever because it's a camper van as well, so sometimes you park up somewhere and camp, we'll get this out, and we'll ride up there to visit him on the bike, and therefore you can stick the bike anywhere. And it seemed like a really good idea, just a little 125 just to do that. But then he passed away, so we never actually got round to use it that way. So now we're stuck with this bike. I say stuck, Not really stuck with it per se, because it's a lovely little thing, and it's not my cup of tea per se, because it's very small and I'm more into sports bikes, but it is great fun to ride it around and stuff. But we bought this brand new thinking we would have it for a while, and then he passed away a lot sooner than we thought, so now we kind of got this bike, and we've spent so much, we bought it brand new, so we kind of don't want to get rid of it, but we do want to get rid of it, but we don't. So it's kind of, it's floating in the air, metaphorically, what to do with it. In the meantime, I've been using it for work and that, because it's a lot cheaper on fuel than riding my van. But we call it Pepper. So it's called a Lexmoto Assault. So a Lexmoto Assault. Assault and Pepper, salt and pepper. So we call Pepper. I don't usually give names and stuff, it's my partner's influence, but yeah, so that's what I came in on, and it's really good for this particular type of use. I've got the old camo netting. This camo netting, I bought it ages ago. It's not bad actually. It's that's the side that can be seen potentially, and I went and stood over there because it looks kind of like in the middle of nowhere, but when you actually stand further back there, which is where the road is ish, it brings it up to you much higher, for want of a better way of explaining it, so it merges in better, although it looks like it sort of just sticks out here, but it's actually, when you stand further back, the perspective makes it merge in with the trees behind it, so it's actually quite good. You can still see a bit of blue on it, but it's only for the casual eye, because there's no actual paths for people to walk along. Just people driving straight past, so it's only for the casual eye, and that'll do the trick. But this camouflage netting, I'll do your 360 later, you can see where everything is. There's a tent. The camouflage netting I bought when I first started the channel, so about well over 2 years ago, and I got it out to look at it. That's nice, because I knew I'd be stealth camping, but I never used it again. I never used it once, because I was bringing it with me initially, but I found I was getting in so deep and so dense places that there didn't seem any point of camouflage netting, because by the time people have gone through the denseness and got close enough to see the camouflage netting, they'll be seeing me anyway, because you have to get really close, and I kind of thought, oh, there's no point. So I never used it, never ever used it, never needed it, because it's not magic. You don't put it on and you disappear. If you get to a certain distance, you can see it's camouflage netting, and you can see me. So but I always get in somewhere really dense. I mean, there's the road. Yeah, that's if I go that way, I'm kind of more exposed, but I'm here now. This is where the tent is, and you can't really see. I don't know where you can see. I've got my glasses, so I can just about make the odd top of the car occasionally. I'm quite close, so it's quite dense, so if anyone is going to see me, they'll have to come close enough so that netting and me ducking down, or me wearing camouflage, wouldn't make a blind bit of difference, because you have to get really close anyway. So, and that's kind of pretty much how I've been camping. So I've never used the camouflage. There's been no need for it. I didn't know at the time how I would be doing it, and as it turned out, never needed it. But I thought it'd be really handy for that, because my bike's bright blue and I can't bring it right into the camp here because there's a big ditch there. Where is it? Oh, it goes. So I'd never get it back out again. Gravity would help me down, but I'll never get it back out again. So I've had to sort of sit it over the ridge. 360s on the way, because it's okay. Hey. That was an intro to the next segment of the 360, but should I stop doing the rapping intros, because I'm starting to learn that I'm not very good at rapping. Certainly freestyle rapping anyway. Maybe I need some time to write something. So anyway, that's for the next segment, which is today's 360. I've come down a bit low for the 360 because it's more of, more of a better example of what I'm seeing. So, and I'll tell you what, flies. But it's just barely hit spring. It shouldn't even be, is it spring? I'm not even sure it is spring, is it? It shouldn't even be like this. I'm not prepared at all. Anyway, today's 360. And by the way, don't tell me that I don't have my hat on. I'm alright here actually, because you can't see nothing, but when I cross over to go and get stuff out my bike, I'm not in the way, in the view potentially. Anyway, today's 360. This idiot thinks that this part of the recording is actually really cool, the 360 nonsense, but I think he's actually a complete idiot. Oh, he's coming. Shh. Yeah, there you go. Marvellous. I don't think you'll be able to see my bike. My bike's actually through there. I think maybe you can see a spot of blue. I haven't got my glasses, so I can't see myself. I think there might be a spot of blue. That's the only thing. It would be nice to have the shot of the bike, see where that is, or orientation wise to everything, but it's behind all the bushes. Anyway, today's 360. First time bringing my new chair. A square chair there, over there, there you go. So on the last video I was van camping, but I was going to save it for when I actually did a proper tent camp, but I didn't know when that was, because back then my back was a lot more painful. I didn't know how long it's going to be, so I couldn't hold it any longer. I had to show you in more detail, so if you want to know all about it, it's in the last video. But this is the first time I'm actually going to use it on a camp, or I've got it out and checked it. Just a quickie, if you can't be bothered to watch the last video, why I like it is because it's my first square design. I presume you're seeing that. As I said, I've lost my glasses, so I've got my glasses blur. So this is square. I've got my hands full, but there's a square like around the bottom, whereas my previous chairs have all been just like a single bar underneath and the legs coming off the single bar. And the upside of this one is it's much more stable. It's really stable. It's you could consider this, because it's meant for camping. Oik! You can consider this like a chair for any wherever you are. I mean, this is kind of advertised as a backpacking chair, but it's good enough. Although it be a bit low, because they are. It's sturdy enough to consider it as a chair to bring with you anywhere, like picnics and wherever you fancy. It is so sturdy, and so there's a little bit of flex, because you put them all together, you can always get that one. But yeah, it's really nice. I hope it lasts longer than all the others have. But price and where from and all that are in my last video. Flies, man. Put my coat on, not because it feels cold enough to warrant a coat yet, but I've had 700 things. Just want to keep my arms covered. I've had hundreds of things landed on my arms. This is my first warm camp, shall we say. I can't say non-winter camp. I could say that. I could say non-winter camp, but it's the first one I've been out where, I mean, I brought a down jacket with me, and this is quite thick, and I was thinking, ooh, is that not going to be enough? This is the first one I've been on this year that hasn't been really low temperatures. It's actually surprisingly warm. It hasn't even been that warm the last couple of nights, so I was expecting it to be temperature to drop, but it's so warm. This is the first one I've had this year. And so obviously I wasn't thinking about it being that warm, and I wasn't thinking about being hundreds of bugs. I've got bug spray, and I bought this little thing off Temu, It's a watch, but it supposedly emits a something to keep the bugs off, and I want you to try that out, see if it's I think it's poppycock. It's a word you should use more often, poppycock. I think it's poppycock. I don't think it'll work, but you know, I'm no expert, so you should always try everything. So I wanted to try that out as well, but I just didn't think it would warrant it. I didn't think we were warm, buggy weather. I also forgot my remote control for my GoPro as well, which annoys me, because that's just a case of boop, 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 controlling it without having to keep all the time. But the actual bug spray and this collar-y thing, this wristbandy thing, I just wasn't thinking it would be that cold, that warm. I mean, it feels like summer. There's no wind, it's quite cloudy. That's what makes me wonder if it's a storm coming, a really heavy storm. When it goes really quiet, really humid, and really airless, which feels airless, normally that's because a big fat storm's coming. So starting to lose the light. I'm starting to think about dinner as well, because this is my first drink since I've been, not like ever, you know. Since I've been born, I've drunk a few things, but since I've been here, this is my first drink, and enjoying every moment of it, because there's a fire engine coming. I was just about to say that now the rush hour traffic's over, listen to that. It's finally starting to feel like I'm in the woods alone, because the traffic is now few and far between. As I say, it's not really a main road, so people travel across it to get home from work, and then after that it's not really much traffic on it. I remember that from last time, but you listen to it now, there's virtually nothing. There'll be a car occasionally, but now you can really sit and hear the birds and the tweetings and I would say the wind, but there's no wind, so just the sounds of the forest. It's just nice. Right, it's time for bed. Normally I go and lie in the tent and watch a film in there and then go to bed from there, but I've been out here right up until bedtime, so I'm gonna go straight from here into bed, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I could start. It's a lovely morning this morning, and this morning. I'm just putting a cup of coffee on. There's some weird old noises last night. I don't know nothing about animals, but I love listening to the noise. It sounded like a cow, one of them, just a lone cow every so often, but it didn't. The nearest thing I can explain is it sounded a bit like a cow, but it didn't quite sound like a cow. That was going off. I had the birds, and there was some owl tweeting and stuff like that, and that really helped me get off, because I was just listening to it all and gone. and I woke up because I was really hot when I first got into bed. So I was quite hot, so I just laid on top of the bed, and then fell asleep, and then about halfway through the night I woke up. I don't want to say I was cold, but my arms felt a bit cold to the touch, and so I got inside the cover, but I left the duvet, the sleeping bag, but I left it open rather, because it's still too hot. I bought the OEX Leviathan. I've downgraded the Rab 900 because that's like severe winter, and I knew it wasn't hot, cold enough to justify that. I went to the Leviathan, but even that I had to leave it open to try and get some air in, because it would get too hot. So looks like that's it for the Rab until next winter. I think we've left Rab weather. But other than that, I woke up once or twice maybe, because I seemed to be sliding. Although I didn't feel I was on a slant, for some reason I kept sliding off the end of the sleeping pad, and then the pillow sort of dropped to the floor, and I was like, so I had to wake up. I can't remember, it was once or twice, to scoot down the sleeping pad. But you know, that's my only quibble. Basically I slept really well. I mean, just awake to get in the sleeping bag, and then once or twice, I really can't remember. It seems like I don't remember the second incident, but I can't help thinking it was more than once. But if it was twice, just to scoot down the sleeping pad, and but other than that I slept solid, you know. So I went to bed at 11, the alarm went off at 7, so I didn't get up at 7, couldn't be bothered. So I've had at least 8 hours sleep, probably more. And it's a lovely morning again, glorious morning again. So I'm going to drink me coffee and then think about packing up. I forgot about an incident that happened last night. I didn't film it because it is one of those you have to move quick things. So when I got into bed, I thought, actually, you know, I've only had one drink since I've been here. I'm quite thirsty, so I made a tea in the tent. So I was lying on my side with my elbow on the ground and the tea in that hand that the elbow was on the ground, and I just let go of the cup. It just slipped out my hands. I hadn't started it yet. Well, I might take a couple of sips, but it was a full cup, and the whole lot went out over inside the tent. I don't think that's ever happened before. I've been doing this a long time now. I don't think it's ever happened before. So yeah, that was interesting. So thanks God, I've never used it before. But I take with me a microfiber towel. I bought it from, I don't know if you have these in other countries, but I bought it from a place called The Range. It's just a huge hanger full of basically everything, and there's a small camping section. I bought this microfiber towel ages ago. It's never been out of the packet yet, because as an extra precaution, really. It's like lighter, and it says it's four times quick drying than any other towel, 6 times lighter than any other towel. It's fairly light. It's a good size as well. It's a very big size. I don't know what to do with it now. I hung it out to dry. So I grabbed that, and it absorbed the whole cup, this whole cup, and that's how good it was. It wiped up and absorbed the whole lot, and it wasn't even dripping. You know, it's wet. It's just, that's the only time I've ever used it, and I've got to take it home now and put it in the washing machine. But yeah, I bought it. I've not really got a use for it. A lot of people wipe the inside of their tents when they get up in the morning. I suppose you do that if you're staying for any like real length of time. But for one night, if the tent's wet in the morning, just put it away wet, and when I get home, I hang it on the line or hang it inside the garage, depending on the weather, to dry out. So I've never had any use for it really. It's just there as a precaution, because it's when it is folded up, which I won't be able to do myself, I bet you. But when it was folded up, it was the bag it came in is that thin and that small, you know, and it was folded so small, it wasn't much thicker than that, and it's quite light. But I bet you like I won't be able to get it back in the same way. But so it was no effort to bring it, just so thin. But yeah, it's there as a precaution, and if it weren't for that, I bring wet wipes with me as well. They wouldn't have done the job. But yeah, if it weren't for that, I would have been sleeping in a pool full of tea. I've got where's my tent? That's behind me. There's stuff on top of the tent because my foil mat and the underside of my sleeping pad are a little bit. There's a little bit of a patch of dampness, so I've put them on top of the tent to try and dry them out in the morning. There's no sun or heat or wind or anything, so I'm not sure how well that's going to work. This has been out all night, hanging off my motorbike. I don't think it's much drier. It's just not the right weather for it. But yeah, so that was an interesting. I had quite a few choice words to say then. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done that before. And there's always something in there. I'm not going to have breakfast this morning because I think I bought a whole pack of a whole box. I spent a lot of money on a whole box of ration packs, and you had to sort of choose on this website. You had to choose like the main part of it. There was other stuff in there too. You had to choose what the main meals were, and I chose beans and sausages and thought, you know, that's all my breakfast sorted in for a while. But I am sick of them. I'm just really sick of them. I've had them for ages now, and it's kind of ruined. I used to bring I had a little tin of all-day breakfast. I used to bring them here, which has sausage, beans and mushrooms, other little bits and bobs in it, all in a tin, and that was brilliant, that was. And it's kind of ruined that for me now as well, because that's predominantly beans and sausages as well. So I'm just sick of it now. So although I'm not starving, because I don't usually feel really hungry the first thing in the morning, but I was fairly hungry, so I could have quite happily had a meal. But I sort of looked at it and went, whoa, because I bought so many. I thought that would be fine, you know. And I'm sick of them. I'm sick of beans and sausages now. So I'm gonna have to start being more creative, purely because you know, a breakfast. My breakfasts were always the same thing. I was quite happy with that because I only ever had them when I was camping. So it wasn't, you know, it's like maybe once a week. So I'm gonna have to start being a bit more creative with my breakfast to get my mojo back before I go, because I'm sick of beans and sausages. So I think I'll leave it here then. I'm going to pack up and go. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to be said. It was a really good camp, really enjoyed it. It was a great ride, great experience riding on the bike, driving straight up to the camp where I camp. Normally the way things go is I park the car as near as I can and then I walk the rest of the way. which because of the type of places I go, which is never usually close. But to drive the bike right up to the campsite is a real luxury. I've never done that before, or drive any vehicle up to the campsite. It's a real luxury, unless I'm camping at a campsite. So that was a novelty, and that was good fun. Done because obviously because of my back and I couldn't carry anything, but it ended up being a really good camp. And then the camp itself was really good as well. I had nice weather, although I don't mind the rain. It's quite nice to sit in the rain, but I wasn't properly prepared for that, so it was quite nice. The sun's coming out now as well, so it's quite a nice camp. You know, my first not freezing to death camp as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. The whole camp was really good, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm just going to pack up now, which is a little bit painful, bending over for everything, but I'm going to pack up now and go. And I'll sign off here, and thanks for watching if you watched.